Hockey Night in Canada and the NHL on Sportsnet present the Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Stanley Cup, ladies and gentlemen. What every hockey player dreams about.
Thunder's rolling down this track. Well, you don't know where you're going now, but you know you won't be back. Well, darling, if you're weary, lay your head upon my chest. We'll take what we can carry. Yeah, and we'll leave the rest. Well, big wheels roll through fields where sunlight streams. Meet me in a land of hope and dreams. Well, it's true, carries saints and sinners, it's true. Carries losers and winners, this train. You're still will sing this train. Bells of freedom ring. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? We've reached the top of the mountain. The demons have been exorcised. This one will last a lifetime. We've got a Stanley Cup champions. Just get on board. You got it now, baby. The Stanley Cup.
The only thing that's important is the Stanley Cup.
Hello, Canada and hockey fans, United States and Newfoundland.
This is Hockey Night in Canada on Sportsnet.
You want action? We've got action for you here tonight.
He's got a step. He's in. Scores! Absolutely amazing. Don't have to tell Kelly Rudy right next to me here. Alberta, the land of hope and dreams. Hunter, you know that. Bruce Springsteen kickstarts our coverage of Los Angeles and the Oilers, the famous five, the Heritage Fund, cattle and grain, oil and gas, mountains and rivers and wild roses. And everybody's thinking, please, can we just get rid of the Kings in Dallas and have the Battle of Alberta in round two? It's so hard. When the Stanley Cup playoffs happen, you just want to take it all in on one night. It's opening night. Scott, over to you in Edmonton.
All right, Ron, playoff hockey at Rogers Place before a full house. It's a beautiful thing, especially when we recall the last postseason game played in Edmonton just under a year ago before an otherwise empty building, no fans, as the Jets were on their way to ending the Oilers season. Now it's the Oilers and Kings in what should be a charged atmosphere. Key matchup will be Connor McDavid versus Anze Kopitar and Phil Deneau. Neither of the Kings' shutdown centers could keep McDavid under wraps 5-on-5 in the regular season. That will have to change in this series if the Kings are to have a chance. And Darnell Nurse returns to the Oiler lineup for game one. He was being called a game time decision, but he took the warm up. He's good to go, and the Oilers will go with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. The goaltending matchup is intriguing because it features a couple of war horses. 40-year-old Mike Smith, red hot down the stretch, has found his game at exactly the right time. He's got the Oiler net against two-time Stanley Cup champion John Quick, making his 86th consecutive playoff start for the Kings. Ron.
Crazy. And Todd McClellan, obviously, and Jay Woodcroft is a great story going into tonight. Just the fact that these two teams have a 123-point guy against a 67-point guy in McDavid versus Kopitar, the centers, Jennifer.
Right, and Scott sort of mentioned on how they might match up, and this is sort of one of the storylines as this series gets started is how does it play out with their 1-2 punch at the center position? You've got McDavid and Draisaitl who have career bests for points and Draisaitl for goals, and how strong they've been and just dominating the way they play. I mean, always exciting and fascinating to watch them them play the game. You've got Kopitar and Danault, two of the best at the center position at being able to shut down their opponents. I mean, Danault was a great signing for the Kings, bringing him in. He was so good for Montreal last season, so instrumental. They said he's also been a great communicator for this team and bringing along a lot of young guys who've played for LA this season. They won't be able to stop Draisaitl and McDavid, but how much can they slow them down?
And Jen, I look at the Oilers like, what's different? Like, McDavid and Draisaitl have been dominating this league for the last 5 years, but I look on the left side here. They brought in Evander Kane. We all know about that story. Hyman, Fogle. You have three guys on the left wing that are 6'1", 6'2", 200 to 210. So you got size, you got speed, you got 27 goals, you got 22 goals, you got 12 goals. You got that left side that's been revamped, and to me, that's the depth of the Oilers' offense. Those are the guys that are going to supplement McDavid and Draisaitl.
And as Scott mentioned, the intriguing battle between the two goaltenders, and I look at Mike Smith, and what an interesting season. He is out most of the season with injuries. Then he is on fire the last month and a half. Jonathan Quick had a terrific start, and then down the stretch, I kind of thought the Kings are leaning towards Cal Peterson. The last 6 games, Jonathan Quick has been as good as he has ever been in his life.
Back on February the 10th, the Oilers were 6 points out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. They end up getting second in the Pacific, home ice advantage for the series. Just a great job by Jay Woodcroft. We'll come back with Hunter Ryan Singh, Louis DeBrusk, and you'll hear from Scott Oake on the other side of the break. Game 1, Kings-Oilers on Hockey Night in Canada.
Place with Oiler fans expecting something special in this postseason. The Oilers have won but one playoff game in the last 2 years, and that's simply not good enough for a team that's led by the best player on the planet. So Connor McDavid, as well as Leon Draisaitl, and in fact all the Oilers feel they have something to prove in these playoffs. So do the Kings, though, and that's that they belong in the playoffs after exceeding expectations in the regular season. Take your pick of storylines in this series, one that we find irresistible. The student against the teacher. Oilers' Jay Woodcroft admits he wouldn't be a head coach without learning the craft over a decade as assistant to the Kings. Todd McClellan, first in San Jose and then in Edmonton. Does McClellan have any lessons left for Woodcroft? The Kings, without their best defenseman Drew Doughty, lost to a season-ending injury in March. Victor Arvidsson, a late scratch for Los Angeles, while the Oilers have Darnell Nurse back in the lineup after he suffered a lower body injury 2 weeks ago. Opening night of the Stanley Cup playoffs at Rogers Place. And Oilers set for game 1 of this first-round series. Todd McClellan said this morning he and his staff have had a hard job finding anyone who's picked them to win this round. The Kings will rely heavily on Stanley Cup holdovers Anze Kopitar, Dustin Brown to lead their young players like Quinton Byfield and Sean Durzi, while the Oilers will rely on playing the way they did down the stretch, especially here at Rogers Place, where they're 14-0-1 in their last 15 games. Extend that home ice streak by one more game, and they'll have the jump on the Kings. Hunter Ryan Singh, Louis DeBrusk standing by with the call of Game 1, first to ice level.
God say hello to all people of Turtle Island. As chief, I welcome you here to Treaty 6 territory. This land has been traditional Region 4 homeland for the Métis people of Alberta, the Inuit, and ancestral territory of the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, and Nakota Sioux people since time immemorial. The recognition of our history on this land is an act of reconciliation, and we honor those who walk with us. Thank you, Kinenaskumtnao.
And now, fans, we ask you to remain standing, remove your hats, and join the singing voice of your Edmonton Oilers, Robert Clark, in the performance of the American and Canadian national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command.
We'd like to welcome the viewers who are taking in the Game 1 battle between Toronto and Tampa Bay. And after a grueling 82-game regular season, the best time of the year has finally arrived in Edmonton. The quest for the hardest trophy to win in sports has officially begun, and for the first time in 30 years, the Edmonton Oilers are set to face off against the Los Angeles Kings in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Two-time Stanley Cup champion, 36-year-old Jonathan Quick will start tonight. Quick made 46 starts in the regular season and ended off strong with 5 victories. At the other end, after making just 27 starts in the regular season, 40-year-old veteran Mike Smith gets the nod in Game 1. He's coming in hot, as Smith was named the NHL's second star of the month of April after going 9-0 during that stretch. Here we go. This series is officially underway. Round 1, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs between the Kings and the Oilers. Here comes Alex Edler, shoots, and Mike Smith makes the first save of the series.
Oh, that's a big one. There's a big ruckus right now after that as Darnell Nurse gets involved. This was a set play off the face-off by LA, and things starting early here. Darnell Nurse back in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers, and Alexander Edler is the one that sneaks in far side. A defenseman activating through the neutral zone. He walks right in and has a real good chance on Mike Smith. Watch this. Beautiful pass up the ice. Athanasiou right under the tape of Edler, and he gets a pretty good shot away. That stop in front by Kopitar is what everybody didn't like. But I expect a lot of this one in this series, Singer. back and forth affair, and both teams are going to fight every inch.
Matt Roy firing the puck into the Oilers zone. These two teams last met in the playoffs in 1992. Edmonton won that series. A fellow by the name of Wayne Gretzky, a part of many series between both of these teams. Edler trying to get the puck out of his own end. Here comes Phil Deneau. Pass off, and here's a save by Mike Smith. Deneau in the corner. Being watched by Duncan Keith. Look at that battle in front of the net between Yamamoto and Iafallo.
Well, let's start it right off the face-off. Deneau versus Draisaitl. There's so many storylines in this series, matchups that will be important. But right out of the gates, you get the feeling that both of these teams said, okay, enough. They saw each other 3 times down the stretch, and they've started off really physical. Here's a little bump on Iafallo. Both guys go down, Draisaitl and Yamamoto. He comes back into the zone, and they continue to battle behind the net. Yamamoto grabs Iafallo, and they just continue to go at it all the way into the front of the net. And then finally, they blow it down. Yamamoto's the only one that's going to get a penalty, though. A little aggressive with that overhand headlock on Iafallo, and the LA Kings go in the power play early in this one.
27th ranked power play in the regular season for the Los Angeles Kings at a 16.1%. Jersey, here's Deneau. Cross ice, room for a shot from Kempe. That one stayed out. They're looking for it. Iafallo finds Kopitar. Darnell Nurse finally back in the lineup. Game time decision, as you heard from Scott Oake. Missed the last 4 games of the regular season. Nurse tracking Kopitar. Nurse poking the puck ahead. Ceci trying to get it out. It's kept in by Dursey. Dursey, who's the power play quarterback in the absence of Drew Doughty on the blue line for the Kings.
Those are big skates to fill for Sean Dursey, who's been a real nice find for the Los Angeles Kings, and he stepped in there and performed well, but certainly missing Drew Doughty throughout this season. But they've done it by committee all year long.
The puck skips by Kaliyev. Chance to clear, and McLeod does just that. Jordan Spence has it now. Australian-born 21-year-old. Here comes Athanasiou, the former Edmonton Oiler, coming through a pass. Mike Smith got his pad on it. Kaliyev has it. Spence from the blue line. Kaliyev shoots off the glove of Smith, and the puck cleared out by Evander Kane.
That's a wicked wrister by Kaliyev. He can really rip that puck. Excellent entry by Athanasiou, who's really found his skating legs. Goes in on the entry, little backhand pass over to Moore. Just can't handle it in tight.
Go! Smith out to play it. Skipped over his stick. Duncan Keith was there. Puck stolen. Grundstrom shoots. Smith another save. Rebound and another fabulous stop. Smith finds the puck and he covers up. And we've got a battle again right near the Oilers' net.
You think these guys are fired up to play this first game? Everything around Mike Smith, they're slamming on their brakes. They're not leaving that blue paint. The Los Angeles Kings, obviously, early on, you could tell that's part of the game plan. Try and get into the kitchen of Mike Smith, the 40-year-old goaltender who's been fantastic down the stretch for the Edmonton Oilers. And right here off the skate, Ceci can't clear it. That was in tight. And there's the entry by Athanasiou. Oh, he's a great skater. Puts it over to Moore, and he just can't finish it off. And then this one here gets away from Mike Smith, and Lizotte has an excellent chance and almost a second one, but Evan Bouchard is there with the stick.
4 shots so far on this power play, 6 in total for the Kings. A face-off victory. Mata to Spence, moving up, pass down low, centering pass. Now Kempe catching up to it. Kempe dropped it off for his captain Kopitar. Dying seconds of the Yamamoto minor. He rejoins. The Oilers trying to get out of their own end. Kopitar's on it. Puck knocked off his stick. Taking off are the Edmonton Oilers at Zach Hyman. Trying to get it over to Draisaitl. Draisaitl there now. A pass over back to Hyman, who has it. Hyman along the boards. Knocked down by Anze Kopitar. Hyman. Pass behind the net. Skipped by Nurse. A shot blocked by Athanasiou. Nurse trying to keep it alive. Draisaitl's going to get the puck here behind the net. Moving to the corner. Now the far side. Draisaitl. He still has it. Draisaitl. A shot into traffic blocked Ollie Mata has it for LA, and he's going to ease this puck out of the zone. Down the ice, play called.
Good response right after an excellent penalty kill. Well, they went to work and had a couple of real good chances, but Edmonton finds a way to kill it off. Here's the play. Kopitar on Hyman. Punishes him in the corner, puts him down. Hyman pops right back up, stays in that battle. It was Draisaitl and Hyman that were on the ice at the end of that penalty kill. Hyman takes that puck down the ice. Yamamoto gets right into the rush with his line mates, and they cycle that puck down low, and that's exactly where Edmonton wants to go to work in this series.
Brett Kulak a shot, gloved down by Jonathan Quick.
And you know, you heard Jen Botterill talk about the fact there's 4 defensemen playing for the Los Angeles Kings, that this is their first National Hockey League playoff game, and that is going to be a real factor in this series. Jonathan Quick, like Mike Smith, was excellent down the stretch. Won 5 in a row, was on fire, and really was vintage Jonathan Quick, 2-time Stanley Cup winner in 12 and 14. Conn Smythe, in their first ever Stanley Cup win, is ready for battle.
Another face-off win for Edmonton. Kulak to McDavid. The puck available in the corner, picked up by the LA Kings. Taking off with it is Trevor Moore. Flipped the puck all the way down. Barry is there. Kulak takes over from him. Brett Kulak hanging on to it from the red line. He fires it in, took a hit from Moore right in front of the Kings bench. Moore, 48 points on the season for him. Since December 1st, he led the Kings in points. That's the type of season Moore in that second line for the Kings have had.
Yeah, that's a real key factor to this game too. Victor Arvidsson out of the lineup, personal reasons, missed a skate, did fly with the team yesterday here to Edmonton, but because of that, Brennan Lemieux and Grundstrom are both in the lineup tonight, and Iafallo steps up on that second line with Danault and Moore.
Vogel with a huge hit on this shift. Evan Bouchard waiting for his teammates to come into the neutral zone, and now Duncan Keith fires one. And that just missed. Bouchard, another shot on net, tipped in front. Derek Ryan's attempt skipped just by as the Oilers come in close. Evan Bouchard now settling things down. What an electric atmosphere here in Rogers Place, inside and outside Louis. McDavid flying through, stick handling. Decided not to shoot. Pass back to the point. Keith shoots. Kopitar blocked that one. Puck trickling towards the net, taken care of by Kopitar. Now Ollie Mata, one of the Kings defensemen with an abundance of playoff experience. Here's Kassian with a hit. Zach Kassian in front of him, a shot from long range. Mike Smith, no problem. Pass from Ceci to Ryan McLeod. Skating through the neutral zone, he enters the Kings territory. Reversing a pass to Zach Kassian. He takes a look. McDavid there. McLeod heading to the bench for a change. Alex Edler, and now we have a call on the play. The referee's hand is up. It'll be holding as the LA Kings will be down a man, and it's Alex Edler heading to the box of punishment. What a start to this one. It was McDavid, Edler targeting him.
Life can change.
Bang bodies. Trevor Moore with an excellent finish on Brett Kulak early in this one. Warren Foegele steps up. You heard Kevin Bieksa talk about the size on the left wing for Edmonton. That's going to come into a lot of play here. And the Oilers with their first power play as McDavid draws the penalty on Edler.
In 4 playoff games last season against Winnipeg, McDavid didn't draw a single penalty. And to start off this one here, the Oilers on the power play, Edler in the box. It's been a topic of discussion in Edmonton for a long time. And here's Draisaitl trying to carry the puck in. He passes off. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has it now. He hands it off to McDavid. The Oilers whistled on the offside at the blue line.
Yeah, and all 4 LA Kings were on the blue line, just defending it very well. Good stick right at the last moment to bobble that puck off McDavid's stick by Kempe and creates the offside. And Edmonton just kind of got caught in the neutral zone without any speed. Typically, they're one of the best, actually the best possession entry into the zone on the power play with the likes of McDavid and Draisaitl.
Here comes Connor McDavid. Nice defensive effort by Mikey Anderson to prevent him from getting a shot through. Barry over to Draisaitl. Cross ice. McDavid gets it to the point. Tyson Barrie from the blue line. Ahead for McDavid. Barrie again at the line. Draisaitl now. Draisaitl moving up. A wrist shot. It was loose for a moment. Covered up now by Jonathan Quick.
A little bit of a switch in formation. McDavid taking that one-time position. Leon Draisaitl on the other side. And you'll see some mixing amongst all three of the centermen on this power play, including Nugent Hopkins. Here's a nice little jump on the loose puck for McDavid. Anderson does a nice job to stand in front of him. Doesn't go for puck at all. Couple swings at it, but then gets his body in the right position right there. Just a little bit of a cross check to deter him from walking right in on Jonathan Quick.
Barrie settling the puck down. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins going cross ice for McDavid. McDavid controlling. McDavid from the corner. Up top, Barrie. Nugent-Hopkins moving up. Tried to pass down low off a King's stick. Olli Maatta a chance to clear, and he will do so. The Oilers, the third best power play in the National Hockey League in the regular season, 26%. Duncan Keith out there now, 25 seconds to go in the man advantage. Here's a chance, McLeod, and Jonathan Quick got just enough to deny McLeod. Yamamoto to the point. Evan Bouchard has it. McLeod back to Bouchard from the blue line. Duncan Keith has a look. Rink line, here's Bouchard, one-timer. Taken care of, and Phil Deneau for the Kings backhands the puck in the Oilers zone. 4 shots on goal on that power play, which is now expired.
Both teams with 4 shots on their power plays respectively, and that one by Ryan McLeod on the breakaway punches in there. Beautiful save by Jonathan Quick, and a good job in front by Evander Kane. That one surprised in the shot from the blue line.
Derek Ryan going for the puck. Moving up there was Fogle to help out. Now Dustin Brown getting the puck out of his own end. Quick pass over to Kassian. Just missed it. Was off, hit by Russell. 7th defenseman out there for Edmonton tonight. And Russell sending the puck into the LA zone. Spence, look at those quick moves. And now it's Grundstrom. Big hit in the corner by Kassian on Spence. A shot by Byfield high. Callion keeping it in for the Kings. Quinton Byfield in the corner. Byfield still on it. Byfield from the boards. The Kings with possession. Callion. Now it's Brendan Lemieux. Finally, the Oilers take it away. As the Kings line had some offensive zone time, but they were forced mostly to the outside. Here's Edler to Matt Roy. Ahead for Kempe. Off his teammate's skate. And thus the Kings are offside.
Well, Todd McClellan and Jay Woodcroft are both saying this morning there's going to be a lot of nerves, and sometimes nerves are good because it creates energy. This is a great chance by Ryan McLeod in tight. What an extension by Jonathan Quick, who still has that great flexibility. Little poke check by Yamamoto to Ryan McLeod with speed, and boy, he gets denied. He shakes his head on the bench after that one. It's a dandy chance. This is the hit I was talking about. Boom. On young Spence, and he puts him into the corner. He kind of dusts himself off, gets back up right into the mix, and that's a good sign for the young defenseman for LA, as Kassian has been running around in this game. A lot of different hits, and Spence is one of those young defensemen in his first National Hockey League playoff game. It's a different pace, it's a different intensity, and he handled that pretty well. You're going to get hit. Doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get hit, you're going to get roughed up. And you just got to weather through that and continue to try and make plays. He made a real nifty move right before that to get that puck away. But you hold on to it a little bit too long and you're going to get crushed.
Reliability, dependability, quality. Exactly what you look for in an all-star with the 2022 Honda SUV lineup.
Lou, you mentioned the physical play from Kassian, and it was Woodcroft today talking about that momentum-changing physical dimension. Those are the words that he used to describe Kassian and what he can bring, especially on the forecheck. And he said people know when he's on the ice.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's the speed that he possesses as a big guy, and that's, you know, one of the attributes of Edmonton this year is they have some real fast, big forwards that can get in there and finish a check. He's sporting that black guy, took a high stick in the second last game of the season against the San Jose Sharks, and playoff ready already with that look. Zach Kassian, but you're right, you know what, and the LA Kings will know that, and obviously you're going to hear footsteps, and it's about trying to just work through that nervousness that's going to be there and make the play in that pressure.
2 hits in just over 2 minutes of ice time for Zach Kassian as we just passed the midway mark here of the first period of Game 1. This series between the Oilers and the Kings, opening night of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Here's Kopitar, stick handling pass. Kane coming in with speed as Jersey stripped of the puck. Puljujarvi, a pass over to McDavid. He carries in. McDavid moving to the middle, dropped it off for Ceci. Ceci connects all the way over on the other side with Kane. Puljujarvi there. Trevor Moore able to dish the puck and move up with it. Moore on the forecheck. Ceci in front of him. Played the puck to the boards. Mata stopped the puck at the blue line. A wrister. Smith had to be careful. Here's another shot that just skipped by in front of the net. Danault. Around the boards. Spence hit by Kane. Danault centering pass. Iafallo. A shot and a goal. Trevor Moore. The first goal of the series. And the Los Angeles Kings have a 1-0 lead.
And the Kings strike first, and what a laser shot by Trevor Moore. This all started back in the defensive zone. He was voted the most defensive forward, best defensive forward by the LA Kings this year, and he showed it on that last sequence. Below the goal line, made the play to ski it out of the zone, and then in the offensive zone, gets lost up high, and eventually will work his way right back down into the mix. This puck bounces to Iafallo, and he quickly recognizes that Trevor Moore is funneled right to that slot. Play by Danault, puts it into the front. Iafallo follows it right onto the tape, and bang, it's off the stick in a flash, beating Mike Smith on the glove side, 1-0 LA.
Moore, who had 17 regular season goals, 48 points, a new career high for him. Goals, assists, and points. Picking up right where he left off. The Oilers' defensive pairing of Ceci and Nurse, they were caught out there for 1:27 on that shift. Spence now to Mata. Olli Mata trying to play the puck ahead. Grundstrom right at the red line. Moore's goal coming from Iafallo and Philip Danault. Here's Blake Lizotte playing the puck. Grundstrom moving in. Mata joining. A backhander stopped easily by Smith. Grundstrom taken down hard by Bouchard. Fishing for the puck was Nugent Hopkins. A play call.
Yeah, good battle down low once again. There's been a lot of battles in this one.
You're watching opening night coverage of the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs. A 1-0 lead for the Kings.
The Dish is the official food delivery app of the NHL. Connor McDavid's hungry for excellence. His 44th goal of the season came against Pittsburgh last week. 2 Hart trophies, 4 Art Ross trophies as of this season, 3 Ted Lindsay awards. So this season, well, how about career highs in goals, assists, points, and power play points this season? So such an incredible season by McDavid. It's almost taken for granted, but that's done now. The focus is on this tight, physical game, one with the Kings, McDavid, and the Oilers in need now of a comeback. Turner Ryan.
Thank you, Scott. And here comes Adrian Kempe looking for more for the Kings. That shot blockered away by Smith. Anze Kopitar from the corner. Athanasiou, his shot off target. Kempe has it, though. Found an open Edler. Slot pass, tipped. Smith the save. Rebound. It came over to Hyman, who skates away. Puck taken away by Athanasiou. Kempe to Kopitar. Kempe shoots. Smith the save, and he hangs on.
Excellent speed by Athanasiou to come all the way tracking back and take away that entry by Zach Hyman. And then a shot mentality for Adrian Kempe. Just, this is a beautiful shot pass. Stick gets down by Kempe, presents the target. Edler finds it. That's a good save by Mike Smith. And then the last sequence after that turnover created by Iafallo up on the top line with Kopitar and Kempe. And that's a good save again by Mike Smith to hold on to it for the whistle.
Deneau wins the faceoff. Iafallo to Moore. Flip the puck behind the net. Jersey has it up top. Pass down low. He connects with Moore. Kulak trying to take the puck away. Good support from Deneau. And now Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets in between, protecting the puck, and it's chipped out to neutral ice by McLeod. Anderson ahead for Moore, who's going to head off to the bench. Smith playing the puck over to Barry. He gives it to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, skating through neutral ice. Puck flipped into the corner. McLeod there. He checked the rear view mirror. Zach Kassian cycling the puck. McLeod down low for Nugent-Hopkins, but it went right by him. Kassian tried to body Kopitar. McLeod takes it. McLeod's pass. A little too far for Nugent-Hopkins, who eventually got to it. Puck brought down by McLeod. A backhander easily stopped by Quick, who covers up.
Some good pressure in the offensive zone. LA doing a nice job to keep things to the outside and really pressure. Tough along the walls, tough in the corners. And for Ryan McLeod, had that excellent chance late in the power play earlier on. Just kind of tries to throw that one on the backhand side. He sensed that Puljujarvi was driving to the net. And a good save by Jonathan Quick again, who wisely held on to it too. And that's really important for Jonathan Quick to recognize when his team is getting hemmed in the defensive zone, when there's an opportunity to hold on to that puck. That's exactly what he does. But a couple great saves by Quick already in this game. And we talked about both goaltenders coming into this matchup. At the end of the regular season, 40-year-old Mike Smith and 36-year-old Jonathan Quick were outstanding respectively for each of their teams. And you knew it was going to be a battle between the pipes.
So looks like we have a little bit of an issue on the ice. We'll be back. Stanley Cup playoffs continue on Sportsnet.
Who is battling glioblastoma, skated with the Oilers on Thursday, and on Friday Ben got his own hockey card courtesy of the Oilers in Upper Deck. He is the Oilers playoff ambassador for Edmonton's 50-50 for round one in support of the Kids with Cancer Society and the Alberta Cancer Foundation. By the way, the Oilers are 9-0 with Ben in the building, but he's not here tonight. He's off on a previously planned trip to Disneyland. Nonetheless, he remains an inspiration. And you know the Oilers would like to do it again for Ben. Harner Wright.
Thank you, Scott. Just love how much the Edmonton Oilers organization involved Ben and his family. An inspirational story. Even made a media appearance earlier in the season.
Pretty outstanding how they've jumped on top of that and grasped that, and really in support of Ben and all kids that are fighting cancer. And you know, for Connor McDavid, he said, listen, it was started off as a small thing. We wanted to make him feel good, and it absolutely exploded. And they love it. And he has a great personal relationship with Ben and his family. They just love that kid to death.
So the Oilers down a goal here in the first period, 6:29 to go, being outshot 14-7 by the Kings, who outshot opponents in 21 consecutive games this regular season. That's the second longest streak in NHL history. So they are used to outshooting opponents, to say the least. Off the face-off, Matt Roy skating to the puck. Able to get it out of the zone, but Evander Kane forcing it right back in. Quick out to play it. Roy up the boards to Moore. The Oilers stopped that momentum at center ice, but play whistle down again.
Download the app and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book.
Face off to the right of Jonathan Quick. Draisaitl, Deneau. Face off victory for the Oilers. Duncan Keith from the blue line. Bouchard, a wrister. Sailed over the net. The puck coming towards the front. And Iafallo took care of business and flipped it out of the zone.
Yeah, real sound defense by the Los Angeles Kings. That's going to be so important throughout this series as Edmonton trying to gain some traction in that offensive zone. They've shut it down so far in this first period. Been very good at limiting time for Edmonton.
Puck battle in the corner, won by LA. Roy skating up ahead. Realized some of his teammates may be heading off on a change. He's going to head to the bench himself. He finds Cassian. It almost skipped away, and it did. Kempe, here's a quick pass, but Kopitar couldn't get to it. The Kings still have it. Athanasiou, stick handling in the corner. Handed it off to Kempe, but the Oilers blocked that pass and were able to just lift the puck out of the zone. Athanasiou. He has it in his own end. Athanasiou now trying to get past Kane, and he does. Puck sent into the Oilers zone. Dustin Brown there. Fired the puck behind the net. Now it's on the near side. Lazat. McDavid taking over from there. He finds Darnell Nurse. Nurse moving up over the blue line. Nurse has it. Backhander centering pass. Here's a tip from Yamamoto. The Kings were parked in front. And now Mikey Anderson has it over to Blake Lazat.
That was a real quick shot back onto the net.
Yamamoto pouncing on the puck. One-timer from the blue line. Kulak. It hit Dustin Brown's stick and broke it. McDavid. Backhand pass to Kulak. Russell waiting for the pass. He has it now. Russell moving to the middle. Brett Kulak moving up. Kulak centering pass. And now Russell keeping it alive for Edmonton. He falls in a collision with Grundstrom. Goes by Kane. Yamamoto trying to poke it back towards him. So the Oilers with some offensive zone time here. Here's McDavid moving into the slot. A pass to Kulak. Shutting the door is Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, that's the kind of shift that Edmonton wants to have. The first time they've exercised their will in the offensive zone. This is still going in front of the net as Anderson and Kulak, a couple of defensemen going at it. Excellent activation by Brett Kulak to keep this play alive. And the LA Kings were down to 4 players with a stick, and they did a nice job to still continue to keep that to the outside. For the most part, you saw Dustin Brown go to the bench, get a new twig, and come right back into the mix. The shot pass to Yamamoto started this sequence off earlier just for McDavid. He recognizes there's a presence in front of Quick. Evander Kane has been all over him early in this game. Standing in front, looking to be that distraction, look for tips. Right here, McDavid draws 3 LA Kings to him down low to Brett Kulak, and then that's where the scrum starts again. Gets his feet moving, takes that middle of the ice after a long period of time in the offensive zone. Maybe the best shift for Edmonton in this game where they've sustained that pressure and created a couple real good chances.
Derek Ryan out to take the draw against Phil Deneau. Face off to the left to Quick. Chris Russell looking and he shoots. Quick found it and he hangs on.
Good glove hand save by Jonathan Quick, and a quick wrister by Chris Russell. Dressen is the 7th defenseman for Edmonton, and a lot of different options for Jay Woodcroft in Edmonton when he goes 11-7, but does a nice job to step to the middle, find that lane, and Jonathan Quick sees it all the way and gloves it down.
Scramble draw, won by the Oilers. Russell from the point. Got the puck all the way through to the corner. And now it's Warren Foegele. Warren Foegele wins that battle, and he was looking for Ryan. They just couldn't connect, and it's Iafallo who comes away with it. Chris Russell now sending the puck around the boards. Edler to Moore. Iafallo shoots and scores. And the Los Angeles Kings have a 2-0 lead late in the first period of Game 1.
And boy, did Iafallo ever bury this one. He just absolutely crushed it. Went through a long stretch this year where he couldn't put the puck in the back of the net, and he just continued to stay with it and played some better hockey down the stretch. And obviously, we talked about it. Arvidsson out of this lineup. This rim around the boards doesn't get out. Good little block by Deneau to be in that spot, keep it alive, and that backhand pass by Trevor Moore. A no-looker stops it, back out in the slot, and he winds up and crushes it Smith gets a piece of it, but not enough, and it finds its way into the back of the net. This line's been excellent for the Kings. Their best line have scored both goals, even strength, and they lead it 2-0.
It's Todd McClellan talking about his players being excited but nervous. He said that's how it should be. He was acknowledging that the excitement level, especially for players like Kopitar, who talked to the media about it too. First time the Kings have been back in the playoffs since 2018. Here's Nurse with a hit on right in front of the Oilers bench.
And Athanasiou was going to play that puck but let it go by him, and he looked to see if there was going to be a penalty on the play. And none in this one too, as Athanasiou comes right back and hits Darnell Nurse.
Here's Kopitar, the puck just skipped a little too far away. Smith playing that puck. Now Evander Kane trying to get it out. The Kings keep it in. Brendan Lemieux, backhander to the net. Now Cody Ceci firing the puck out of his own end. And yes, Louis, there's a battle brewing there between Nurse and Athanasiou.
Yeah, they've gone at it a couple of times down low in the zone, and it was the step up by Nurse, and there's a hit even by McDavid on Byfield, so really ratcheting up the physicality. It's been a physical one already, but it looks like it's going to be elevated again.
Iafallo's goal coming from Moore and Edler to make it 2-0. Here's Quinton Byfield, stripped to the puck, Kane shoots, and what a fantastic save by Jonathan Quick to deny McDavid and Kane.
Oh, what a terrific pickpocket there by McDavid, but here's the goal again that made it 2-0 for the LA Kings, and Edmonton came out and started to really get physical. That kept alive by Danault. Edler puts it down low. Beautiful pass by Moore to Iafallo, and he buries it for a 2-0 lead. And then Edmonton goes to work. A little energy, a little excitement. Great pickpocket right there, McDavid over to Evander Kane, and look at that splits. Vintage Jonathan Quick to come across and deny on the glove hand side. Wow, he has been dialed in this first period. 11 shots for Edmonton, stopped all of them. Best chance right there for Evander Kane.
Face-off win by LA. Oilers unable to keep the puck in. Ryan McLeod over to Evan Bouchard. Zach Kassian. And here comes McLeod in full flight. Nice move. No shot though. McLeod still on it. Duncan Keith cross ice. Evan Bouchard, wrister. And again, Jonathan Quick coming up with it.
Yeah, you get the sense there's a little bit of an elevation and urgency for Edmonton. Still discussions after this whistle. There's been a lot of that around the blue paint and each respective goaltender. Nice little toe drag here. Ryan McLeod has really had his skates in his wheeling. And then the wrister from the blue line with a presence in front. Moore tangled up with Nugent Hopkins, and somehow Jonathan Quick is able to swallow that one up through that traffic. That's when you know a guy's dialed in. When he's finding pucks through two bodies like that, making it look easy, he's seeing it.
Here's Cody Ceci keeping it in, and now it's Draisaitl in the corner, taken down by Kopitar. Play continues. Darnell Nurse with it. Kempe nearby. Ceci skating straight up. Tried to fire it in. Now a backhander deep into the LA zone. Sean Durzi has it as we enter the final minute of the first period. Puck tipped ahead by Kempe. Starting it off, it's Darnell Nurse now. Connor McDavid moving in with speed. He shoots. He scores! The Oilers captain is on the board, cutting the lead to 1.
Well, guess who? Connor McDavid with an absolutely enormous goal for Edmonton, down 2-0. But you can see things starting to build for Edmonton, and he just takes this and walks through 4 Los Angeles Kings and zips this one short side on Jonathan Quick. Head up, walks on the line. You can see the extension by Manta, but no chance on that one. Mata tries to poke check him at the line, and he buries it.
A goal in the last minute of play here. That puck over the boards into the Oilers bench. Play call.
Well, the first time we've seen McDavid really wind it up from the defensive zone. And this place absolutely blew up after he scored that goal at Rogers Place. The first time they've had fans in the building since 2017. Excellent shot, beats Jonathan Quick, who's been seeing everything, making all the stops. Connor McDavid goes to work. And that lightning fast release cuts the lead in half.
Play started off with Darnell Nurse handing the puck off to McDavid. He has the only assist on that goal. Here's a shot blocked by Kulak off the glass and out. Matt Roy skating to the puck. He's able to get it further. Dustin Brown whiffed on it. A chance for Yamamoto. Dying seconds of the period. A slap shot blocked by Grundstrom. And that'll do it for the first period. 2-1 lead for the Los Angeles Kings, but it's Connor McDavid. A goal late in the first period to put the Oilers on the score sheet. Shots 16-13 in favor of the Kings. Coming up in the first intermission, opening night coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs will continue on Sportsnet with Ron McLean and the panel. 2-1 lead here for the Los Angeles Kings over the Oilers after 20.
The GMC Terrain, AT4, and Elevation. And it was Connor McDavid to the rescue there, because has to be a little bit of jitters for the Edmonton Oilers. What do you think of the first 20?
Well, there's a lot of action for sure. 16, 13 shots on net. Hits were 20-20. I felt like LA was kind of dominating the play a little bit towards the beginning. And, you know, obviously we'll talk about faceoffs. But I thought that when Edmonton did generate a chance, it was a high-quality chance. I thought Jonathan Quick was very good, or it could be Edmonton up right now.
That's what I totally agree with that. I think LA, one of the reasons why they made a playoff position is because they're so good in lockdown hockey, and this is not the way they were playing the last 10 or 8 games or so.
And sort of the theme I saw was the persistence from Edmonton, because as you mentioned, even though they may not have had many of the quality scoring chances, they stayed with it. And McDavid was a prime example of that, of getting some of the rushes earlier in the first and not getting what he wanted out of the rushes. So this was early in the first. Again, the beautiful shoulder fake, the deception, taking on the entire Kings team, but then goes into the corner. On the other one, again, another good look. They play him really well in this one. He's so good at the puck placement when he's on those rushes, but to make sure that he doesn't get through again. Here he's battling down low, trying to protect the puck, just pushing away the LA Kings and their defensive attempts. Coming through the seam, and this was one we're wondering, does he want to shoot from the high slot area, but tries to make a nice pass, strong on the puck, gets that one. Ron, you wanted him to fire that one across a little harder to Kane to see if he could get more on it, but don't worry, because here he comes on the rush again. We shouldn't be surprised if this one, almost 1-on-5, Kings players are falling all around, but he fires this one home to get the home crowd into this one.
Because you loved the pass. I was saying when Kucherov fired the bullet to Stamkos and he couldn't quite handle it.
You know, Ron leads his team in points.
That's right.
He's made that very clear.
Right.
These plays are easy to Ron in his head.
Right. So, Connor, I'll just call you after the show and we can talk a little bit about the things that you could do to improve. Elliot, what do you got over there?
Ron, 2 major McDavid storylines in that period. The first one, Jen just showed you the goal, an absolute beauty that put the Oilers back into the game down 2-1. But the second, it's not insignificant. It's what Hunter Ryan Singh mentioned. Connor McDavid draws a penalty. And last year in the playoffs, as Hunter Ryan mentioned, McDavid did not draw a penalty in the 4-game sweep against the Winnipeg Jets. It's just interesting that 10 minutes, not even, into his first game of this first playoff series this year, he gets one. And I would guarantee the Oilers have been lobbying for this. McDavid was part of the competition committee that discussed this at the end of last season. If you're the Kings, you have to be looking at this and saying it's going to be very different from what we saw a year ago.
It does feel like the referees have adhered to the standard through the early part of this night tonight. So, Kevin, Trevor Moore had a great period.
If the NHL had a Most Improved Player award, he would get one of my nominees. And, you know, not that he had a bad year last year, but he's made himself an impact player for the LA Kings. He does everything. He's physical. He led the league tied with Formanton with 5 shorthanded goals this year, so he's great on the penalty kill. Physical, great skater. You see him right here. This sets up his goal. Winning a puck battle, spitting off McDavid, pretty good player, skating the puck up ice, and that's a lot better than, and then he chips the puck and goes and gets it. And then again, he'll get lost here in open space. And this line with Iafallo and Danault, this is the reason why the LA Kings are in the playoffs right now. That's his quick release here. And on this pass here, setting up his teammate and line mate Iafallo. When the guy who scores the goal rushes to you after, you know you made a good pass. Watch Iafallo. His celebration is going right over to Moore because that was a phenomenal pass.
And he kept going on the bench afterwards. That was a nice pass. He kept going.
And vintage Kopitar, one of my favorite players for years and years. 200-foot player, does everything. You just take a look at the body positioning and what he does and how he recognizes his responsibility. He doesn't race over to Hyman, right? He just sort of puts himself in good position, angles Hyman, knocks him off the puck. That is just classic Kopitar. It just continues here in the first period. Understands, once again, get body position. He's going to block the shot right in front, doing my job. And then 3 consecutive face-off wins against McDavid. In fact, this one even made it look very, very easy. Here he's on the wrong side, sweeps that one to the corner. But everything he did tonight was with a purpose. I love this little toe drag right here, setting up Durzi. He's a big, big man, Kevin, as you were talking off camera, that he's so hard to knock off the puck. Well, there he's throwing the weight around, big physical guy. And you can really tell that he's so excited to be back in the playoffs. And he just loves this kind of hockey.
Good game. 2-1 Los Angeles after 20 minutes. We're opening on 4 fronts for the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Toronto, big moment in the game is a 5-on-3 opportunity. They call a timeout. They design a play. It's going to be Mitch Marner in the corner, getting it out to Austin Matthews. Bang. And that was a huge goal, 1 of 2 for Matthews on the night. Muzzin, Marner scored tonight, which was huge for him to get off the schneid. Second career shutout. Jack Campbell. Toronto blitzes the 2-time champs 5-0. Tuomo Teravainen will score a pretty goal here for the Carolina Hurricanes. Antti Ranta in goal for Carolina because Freddie Anderson's on the shelf. He faced 36 shots, made 35 saves. The Hurricanes roll to a 5-1 victory in that. And this is a, as you might expect, very physical game tonight between St. Louis and Minnesota in St. Paul. We'll show you the David Perron goal from Ryan O'Reilly and Torrey Krug. And O'Reilly's also scored from Falk and Perron. And the St. Louis Blues have a 2-0 lead in the game in Minnesota. Cabby on the other side of the break. There's Iafallo saying, what a pass. Like, I mean, really. And what a shot, Connor. Great shot, I have to say.
Stars, Flames, Game 1, Tuesday. Sportsnet. Hockey fans, this is big. One lucky fan could win $1 million plus instant cash prizes and
We got a beautiful goal from Connor McDavid, but LA's up 2-1, so how's that reflected in the betting lines?
Great goal and a big goal as the Edmonton Oilers were 2-1 underdogs, trailing 2-0. The Kings were coming back on the other side at -260, but now odds makers have this one as a 50-50 matchup with both teams listed at -115.
It's exciting so far. The Kings haven't been in the playoffs since 2018 and are off to a great start in Game 1. Back to you, Ron. Thank you, Andy.
Thanks a lot, Cabby. Thank you, Andy. And it was the one shot for Connor McDavid that is the difference for Edmonton getting back into the game. Darnell Nurse, incidentally, with the assist on that one helps as well. Studio 99 as he gets set to party in period 2 coming up.
Playoffs at Rogers Place. The Kings 2, the Oilers 1. Jonathan Quick won the goaltenders duel in the first period, stopping 12 of 13 shots, a number of them, including one on Brett Kulak in spectacular fashion. Quick wrestled the starter's net from Cal Peterson in April when he found form going 5-1-0. Kings in the playoffs, Quick in the net. It's been that way now for 86 playoff games. Quick starting every one of them since 2010. He's on a list with some greats, and they'd be a lot higher on it had not the Kings missed the playoffs in 7 of Quick's 14 years. Last time someone other than Quick started a playoff game for the Kings was Felix Potvin, April 29th of 2002 versus Colorado. First period tonight suggests Quick has no intention of surrendering the Kings net anytime soon. Partner Ryan.
Thank you very much, Scott. And Todd McClellan talking about Jonathan Quick and his focus. Saying to the media there's no point in calling him out to talk to him because he's not going to give you anything. And that's just the sort of personality and focus that Quick has had that's given him success. Two-time Stanley Cup champion. 1-1-1 record against Edmonton this season. The second period is underway. A one-goal game. 3 goals in the first period. Here's Kempe. Puck knocked off his stick by Smith. By Nurse. Smith playing the puck ahead to Ceci. In the neutral zone, Athanasiou. Trying to move in. Kopitar, a pass. Kempe, a pass back in front. Smith got in the way, and he was able to vacuum up that puck.
Boy, just a quick turnover in the neutral zone as Edmonton kind of run into themselves. You can see Mike Smith kind of shaking his head. Cody Ceci trying to skate this puck up the wall, runs into Jesse Puljujärvi, and it's a 3-on-1 that ensues. And just a good scramble by Edmonton to stay in the battle. Mike Smith is able to stop that crossing pass and then swallow it up on an excellent chance early on for the Los Angeles Kings.
No stage fright at all for these Kings, especially the youngsters in the lineup.
Yeah, good point. They've really just kind of jumped into it, haven't they? And that's exactly what Todd McCallum was hoping to see. You know, embrace the experience, embrace the nervousness, and just go out there and play.
Draisaitl coming into the zone, and he was tripped. Penalty upcoming.
A good little drop pass on the line with speed. Draisaitl on the entry gets chopped down. Alex Iafallo is going to head to the box. So an early power play for Edmonton. You can see him wind it up in the defensive zone. He's waiting for this little pass up the ice. But to Yamamoto, he just kind of touches it back to Draisaitl with speed and draws the call.
So a late goal at the end of the first for the Oilers and an early power play here at the beginning of the second period, looking to carry that momentum forward. The Oilers on the power play.
Todd McCallum didn't like that call at all. He kept telling the official he didn't trip him, and had a couple conversations with Kyle Raymond as he came over to the bench.
McDavid sending the puck to the point. Barry ahead for Nugent Hopkins down low. Zach Hyman trying to force it in, was unable to do so. Here's McDavid to Barry from the blue line. Nugent Hopkins has a look, back to Barry. Nugent Hopkins, one-timer, and somehow Jonathan Quick got enough. The Oilers still on it. The puck loose, but Jonathan Quick got his blocker on it now for the whistle.
Just an all hands on deck here, and good drive into the net by Leon Draisaitl. Excellent save by Jonathan Quick. Win a face-off. LA won 60% of the face-offs in the first period. Edmonton wants to do a little better there. This pass down to Hyman in tight, can't quite control it. But it's Nugent Hopkins that comes in and has a real good chance, and then he puts it right on a tee for Leon Draisaitl. Good save by Quick, but that puck was up for grabs and still wasn't covered. I'm surprised they let them battle that long, but everybody dove in there.
Off the face-off, the puck behind the net. Alex Edler clearing it 200 feet down the ice. Smith leaving it there for Tyson Barrie. Barrie starts it off with a pass to Draisaitl. Draisaitl floating in the neutral zone. He reverses to McDavid, who carries in. Barrie now from the blue line. He got it back from McDavid. Barrie has a look. McDavid from the corner. Barrie again. This time to Draisaitl, looking to shoot. He passes. Zach Hyman, that puck took a funny bounce. Barrie has it up top. Draisaitl down low. Hyman to Draisaitl. Over to Barrie. McDavid looking, moving up. Draisaitl has a chance. He shoots, and somehow coming up with the answer again is Jonathan Quick. What acrobatic ability on display.
Well, I'll tell you, he was horizontal to the ice on that one. Couple great chances. Zach Hyman gets this puck, and as he tries to pass it across, it goes off a stick and doesn't miss by much. Deflects almost right to the net. And then here's that great pass by McDavid, cross seam, and Leon Draisaitl laid into this one. And Jonathan Quick literally dove across to make that save with the body.
Bouchard's shot, and that was blocked. You're right, Louis. He just lunged.
Yeah, like he was airborne.
Still half a minute to go on the power play. Iafallo in the box. Ryan McLeod skating up the ice. A pass to the left. Evander Kane. Bouchard from the point. Moving up. He's got some room. Boost bomb, and Jonathan Quick again up to the task.
Big blast by Evan Bouchard, swallowed up by Jonathan Quick. We're going to take another look at that save on Leon Draisaitl. You got to gamble. You know this is a grade A chance for a 55 goal scorer in Leon Draisaitl, and he just dives, elevates, sells the fact that he's down, jumps up with the chest to make that one, and then there just swallows up the blast from the blue line.
Duncan Keith, goal! Tipped in! Tie game!
Tyler Yamamoto with a great redirection on the shot pass by Duncan Keith, and it happened fast. Present the target. No chance for Jonathan Quick on this one. This is how you get around a goaltender that's playing as well as Quick right now. You get sticks in the lane, you get bodies in the lane. Win a face-off. We talked about it. You have to win face-off to generate these chances. The perfect redirection. For Yamamoto, he has to elevate this puck. Jonathan Quick was there. That little flare, opening up of the blade, elevates it just enough up over top of the left pad, and this game is tied.
Tyler Yamamoto coming off his first ever 20-goal regular season. And the Oilers have tied this game up at 2 here in the second period. On the attack are the Kings. Dustin Brown shot ricocheted away from the net. Here's Zach Kassian, who finds Kulak, fired into the Kings territory. The Oilers fans just deafening here with applause and excitement after that goal.
Unbelievable, isn't it? They've been waiting a while to have fans in the building since 2017. This is the first time it's packed house at Rogers Place for playoff hockey, and I think everybody in the hockey world, in the world period, is pretty happy to be back to normal and have a full building to cheer on playoff hockey.
Duncan Keith and Evan Bouchard picking up the assists on Yamamoto's goal. Here comes Connor McDavid, splitting the D. A pass to the middle, but nobody home. On the counterattack, coming in with speed is Kempe. Kempe to Brendan Lemieux, shoots, and he scores. And just like that, the LA Kings regain the lead.
What a transitional play here by the Los Angeles Kings, and it was McDavid with the wind-up, little drop pass into the slot. And it was Evander Kane that was there, but this pass is a little bit off. With speed all the way through, and you can see him go through both defensemen, put it back. Great job to backtrack the whole way by Kopitar. And then Brendan Lemieux, who's getting a chance on this line right here. The quick release. Beautiful pass by Kempe, who gains the zone with possession. And Brendan Lemieux looking like his old man Claude right there in the playoffs, who is always a clutch playoff performer. Wastes little time to get that shot away. His first career playoff goal, and it's a big one.
It sure is. The LA Kings back in control. 1 minute and 19 seconds after Yamamoto scored.
That's a response. You know, for Edmonton, just a little too deep on that rush. It opened up. They've been so patient and looking for their opportunities the right way. They go up the rush. They get caught coming back in an outnumbered rush as LA has been very opportunistic in that regard, waiting for their chances to transition the puck, and they make it happen on that goal by Lemieux.
Here comes Leon Draisaitl. Peeled off. It's Ceci to Nurse. A shot into traffic. Up to the task again was Quick, who came far out of his net to challenge that one.
And a real heavy presence for Edmonton in front of Jonathan Quick, and he had to stretch with that glove hand.
Puck coming to the near side, out of the zone. Spence to Mata. Back to Spence, ahead, and now it's Moore. He carries in, dropped it off for Spence, shot blocked by Nurse. Nurse in the corner, Ryan falls, Nurse still protecting the puck. Over to CC, the Kings somehow keep it in and kept it alive momentarily, but now we have a whistle on the play as Danault goes down, and the Oilers will head back onto the penalty kill.
Yeah, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins going to head to the box here, and both referees had their hands up on this call. It's going to be a hooking call on Nugent-Hopkins. Steve Pizzari with the call. And here's that high wrister. And, you know, the one thing I thought about with this one, it deflects off the right arm of Matt Roy in front goes down into the pad and was up for grabs. Great defensive play by Kopitar once again in tight, and there's the hook on Philip Deneau by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That draws the call.
So the LA Kings 0 for 1 on the power play so far tonight. Face-off victory for the Kings. It's Durzi over to Kopitar. Foul around the boards. Kempe has it now. He reverses. Durzi. Kempe under pressure. Now on the other side, Kopitar. Down low for Deneau. He gave it back. Kopitar to Durzi. He dishes. Kempe, one-timer and a big stop from Mike Smith. Easy clear for Chris Russell, who sends the puck all the way down the ice. Durzi looking to get things going quickly again for the Kings. Pass to the right, Kopitar. Around the boards, but out of the zone. Kempe there. Durzi. Dropped it off. Kempe moving through neutral ice. Knocked off his stick for a moment. Kempe now to Kopitar. Kempe, 35 goals this season. Career highs for him. Ceci looking to get it out, and he does.
That was a good play on the line by Anze Kopitar, who's had a real strong game here defensively with a couple excellent plays right there on the line. Both teams really trying to stand up and deny entries. He found a way to make that pass.
Here's Kaliev, a pass to Byfield, a pass in front. As he tried to connect with Moore, who missed it. Bouchard getting the puck to Duncan Keith. The Kings recover. Moore, pass again. And the Oilers on the counter-attack, shorthanded. Draisaitl moving in with McLeod. Draisaitl puts on the brakes to Keith, shoots, and a routine stop for Quick, who keeps it alive. As Quinton Byfield passes off to Spence, puck dumped in. Nugent-Hopkins ready to get back onto the ice. Lizotte moving to the net, and that's off the crossbar. The Kings coming oh so close to another goal. Nugent-Hopkins dropping it off for Kane. Stopped along the boards was Nugent-Hopkins, and now it's Dustin Brown. Grundstrom with him. Grundstrom has the puck behind the net. Lizotte takes a look. He has the puck. Over to Brown. Brown being pressured, and Evander Kane has an opportunity to take off with it. Matt Roy preventing his path. Here's a pass to McDavid. Shoots, and a save by Quick. David out there with Kane and Yamamoto. Brett Kulak launches the puck back into the Kings zone, but play whistled down. Again, it's a one-goal game. The Kings are ahead by one, 3-2 here in the second period on Hockey Night in Canada.
Goal lead on Brendan Lemieux's first playoff goal. 11 seconds after Edmonton made it 2-2. There's an opportunity to shoot the puck on the net that isn't taken. That pass just wide. And this one by Trevor Moore. That's where he scored in the first period. Tries to feed Athanasiou, who's tied up by Bouchard. So a couple of near misses there on good plays by the Kings as they've been buzzing in the offensive zone in this second period.
Center ice face-off as the Kings have possession. Puck dumped in. Smith put his hand up to indicate icing.
When we talked about the second line for the Los Angeles Kings, Victor Arvidsson not in this lineup, so Alex Iafallo steps onto that line with Trevor Moore, Philip Deneau. With Arvidsson, that line's been the most consistent line for the Kings all year long. Iafallo steps in, and look what they did in that first period. Scored 2 goals, and just amazing how they were able to do things from their own end all the way to the offensive end.
Edler trying to get the puck out, unable to do so. Here's a pass. Draisaitl shot blocked. Edler playing the puck to the boards. Bouchard there, but the Kings do get it out. Duncan Keith has it. Pass pass, long range to Hyman. Not Roy leaving it there, but miscommunication for the Kings as the Oilers steal. Hyman, quick, sharp angle shot. Off target though, and puck coming all the way back over to Zach Hyman. Hyman controlling from the blue line, a pass to Draisaitl. Draisaitl taken down by Edler. Draisaitl finds the puck once again, waiting. Hyman moving up on the backhand, driving behind the net. Hyman still has it. Zach Hyman now all the way up top, trying to get through a number of Los Angeles Kings players, and the referee's hand is up, and another penalty upcoming.
And some extra after the whistle of Trevor Moore with Evan Bouchard, and that look says it all by Todd McLellan. It's going to be Iafallo going to the box again, and just good work in the offensive zone for Hyman. He kind of puts that puck through both Roy and Iafallo. It's the cross-check Iafallo that gets called, and Tom McClellan's like, hey, let them play out there. They're battling pretty hard. No question he didn't knock him off of his skates. Zach Hyman's a pretty sturdy guy, but another power play for Edmonton in the second.
And that's been the crackdown this season on the cross-checking.
Absolutely.
So the opening night of the playoffs, it looks like, in terms of how the game is being called, it is consistent with the regular season, for sure.
I think Hyman stays on his feet. There's no call, but because he knocked him right off of his skates and went right up.
McDavid on the draw against Kopitar. Kopitar in a battle. He's able to chip the puck out. Barry has it. Barry hanging on to it. Now Draisaitl moving up. He gives it to McDavid, coming through with speed, and now Nugent-Hopkins going cross ice. Draisaitl there. Down low, McDavid trying to give it back to Draisaitl, who's moving to the net. Didn't pan out. Mike Smith has it now for Barry, as the Kings are able to make a change on the penalty kill. Tyson Barrie to Draisaitl. Draisaitl now to McDavid. Over the blue line, McDavid getting past Danault. To the other side, Draisaitl. He reverses, Barrie has it. Over to Nugent-Hopkins, Barrie gets it back. Draisaitl had some room, decided not to shoot. One-timer for Barrie. Blocked by Danault, it broke his stick. Here's a chance for Draisaitl. He shoots. He scores! Leon Draisaitl has his first of the playoffs, tying this game at 3 apiece.
And even a little extra after that one by Leon Draisaitl and Sean Durzi. Good puck recovery, battle along the wall, set things up. This blast is what broke the stick, and that stick gets dropped down the ice. This pass goes off the stick, slows down, and Leon Draisaitl just outweights Jonathan Quick. It's McDavid, no looker. He knows exactly where Draisaitl is. Jonathan Quick comes out to try and cut down that angle, but you give Leon Draisaitl 55 goals in the regular season. He buries it to tie this game 3-3.
He picked the corner. The Oilers capitalizing on that power play. Draisaitl a 1.29 points per game average in the playoffs. That's 4th best in franchise history. He's a playoff performer, to say the least. Just like on the previous Oilers goal, the Kings trying to get on the attack right away, but it's Foegele now. Coming into the Kings zone, Foegele shooting. McDavid picking up the assist along with Yamamoto on that Draisaitl goal. Tie game as we pass the midway mark of game 1 in this series. Nurse starting it off from behind his own net. He left it there for Connor McDavid, moving through, maneuvering through, pushing the puck to some open ice. McDavid with a hit on Matt Roy. Jesse Puljujarvi, he found the puck. It's a bouncing puck. McDavid taking it from him. McDavid shooting, Kane found it. Couldn't get a shot off, though. Evander Kane now firing the puck, and now it's picked up by Kempe. Over to Mount Roy. Off the boards and out thanks to Athanasiou. Here come the Kings now. Kempe, his pass to the front of the net. They couldn't connect. Back the other way come the Oilers. Puljujarvi to Kane. A wrister just wide. Nurse a shot, quick to save. And now the Kings were able to punch the puck out of their own end.
That one came hard off the back wall, too. And Puljujarvi just couldn't get a backhand on it on the first try.
Listen to this crowd. This is what it's all about, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Iafallo leaving it. Anderson, backhander. Smith, he made the save. He had the answer on that one. What a game we have for you here. Draisaitl tying it at 3 between the Kings and the Oilers in Game 1.
Further to Louis' point earlier about Phil Danault, Los Angeles signed him as a free agent from Montreal, and he quickly proved it was wrong to view him solely as a defensive player, although that's his stock in trade. But 27 goals made him an offensive threat this season. Danault hadn't scored 20 since his second year of junior. Polls of LA players, media, fans, Danault has won every Kings award from MVP to most inspirational player. If there was an award for best free agent signing, Danault would likely win it. Harner Ryan.
Thank you, Scott. And Phil Danault coming in with 38 playoff games experience. Majority of those with Montreal in 2021. Face off to the left of Mike Smith. This game tied at 3 apiece. And it's Russell. Zach Hyman. He's on the prowl. Hyman cycling the puck forward. Draisaitl there. Draisaitl now moving to the middle. Taken down. Another penalty coming up here against the LA Kings. It'll be a holding call.
And this is just battling one-on-one. And for Leon Draisaitl, he's just been so strong on that puck. He's taken some hits in this game. The Kings have come out and really tried to be physical on Draisaitl and McDavid, the top players. But then he's just going right into the pressure. And he did grab onto that stick of Byfield there, and he might have sold that one low. That's what Byfield was trying to say to the referee. Really can't do anything when the guy grabs your stick, but he gets away with it in tight. And draws another one, and Todd McLellan ain't too happy on the Los Angeles Kings bench.
2 power play goals already for the Oilers just in this period alone. They're looking to add to that total. Kopitar and Draisaitl in the face-off circle. Kopitar tossed. Iafallo coming in his place. Draisaitl wins the draw. Barry has it quickly to McDavid. Down low. Hyman's pass. A shot from Nugent Hopkins. And it stayed out. Barry from the point to Draisaitl. He gives it back. Barry. McDavid gives it back to Barry. A shot. And hit a body and bounced up over the glass.
Yeah, good shot mentality there. Barry knew he had a real heavy presence in front of Jonathan Quick. Again, a face-off win to set things up, go to work. They've tried that down low play a couple of times. That was going to be for Nugent Hopkins, back door off the stick of Hyman. Good defensive play in tight by the Kings to take that away, and then Jonathan Quick recognized right away that shot through traffic, but deflects up over the glass.
He's hearing it right now from the Oilers fans. McDavid shoots, and that one too high.
That was a sneaky shot by McDavid, too. A little half slapper. You expect him so much to make that pass as he gains speed from high to low on the power play coming down, but he just gets it away quickly and tries to catch Jonathan Quick off guard.
Draisaitl moving in with speed. Edler unable to clear the puck. McDavid to the blue line. Nugent Hopkins quickly to Barry, quickly to McDavid. McDavid has a look. Barry now. To Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Barry. McDavid, one-timer. Quick, far out to challenge again. And he shut the door.
Yeah, another different look again. You see as Nugent-Hopkins occupies that left-hand side. McDavid goes to the one-time position. And Leon Draisaitl to the bumper position. Why it's so difficult to understand what they're going to do on this power play for Edmonton. Move it around. There's the one-timer by McDavid. Great save again. With Zach Hyman all over Jonathan Quick. He gets into it with Edler a bit. But Quick, amazing that he can find that puck through all that traffic and make the save.
Face-off win for Edmonton. Barry has it at the blue line. McDavid made a move. Still controlling. Now he dishes to Draisaitl. Bank pass to Barry. McDavid tried to go rink wide over to the direction of Draisaitl. It didn't work, but the Oilers recover. Barry over to an open Nugent-Hopkins, and the puck wasn't able to corral it in time, and the Oilers forced to retreat. 26 seconds left on the power play. Nugent-Hopkins carries in. McDavid to Draisaitl. Down low, Nugent-Hopkins. To the point, Barry, McDavid. Now Barry surveys. Here's Draisaitl. Barry decided not to shoot. McDavid moving to the middle. Lizotte got his stick in the way of that pass. Byfield back on the ice, 5-on-5. Nugent-Hopkins' pass was blocked. The Kings have possession, and it's Byfield controlling, and his pass over to Durzi. He dumps it in. Puck knocked down neatly by Mike Smith, showing off his skills in that regard. Puck quickly down the ice. McLeod trying to get a pass over to Cassian. Evan Bouchard stepping up. Quick shot from Kane on Quick. And the Kings trying to get on the attack after that penalty kill. More physicality. Moore's pass. Oh my! IFL coming close. Smith got just enough. Spence to Moore, trying to twist away from Duncan Keith, who says no thank you. Deneau behind the net. His pass in front to Alafalo, who tried to get his stick on it. And the Oilers finally get the puck out. It's Evander Kane who won that foot race. Catching up to try to support was Derek Ryan, but the Kings have it, and it's Spence. Long-range pass. Puljujärvi poking the puck away. Grundstrom skating to the puck. Ceci was there too. Now it's Puljujärvi. Grundstrom strips him of the puck. Grundstrom, a pass to Dustin Brown. Foegele got his stick in at the right time. And this pass intercepted. Derek Ryan skating straight up north. He flips the puck into an open corner. Roy is there. That pass over to Grundstrom. Puck knocked down briefly by Ryan. And now the Kings are going to make a change.
Yes, a little end-to-end here after that power play for Edmonton. Excellent penalty killing by the Los Angeles Kings, and sticks on the cross-seam passes, taking away chances. They go to work. The second line of LA creating that chance again. That Iafallo redirection from Moore didn't miss by much.
Here's Kopitar now. Athanasiou is trying to move to the net. Ceci is with him all the way. Yamamoto, quick pass. Nurse bringing the puck into the zone. He decided to dump it in. Kane, sharp angle pass in front. Chris Russell making moves. He's taken down. Athanasiou, no-look pass. Kopitar has Kempe with him. Kopitar's pass blocked by Kulak. Kyler Yamamoto's on it. Connor McDavid. And he decides to just ease the puck into the Kings zone as he heads to the bench. Mata to Spence. Pass, he got through. Athanasiou's shot off of Russell's stick in sky high.
Well, this game building in waves, and every time LA scores, Edmonton comes back and finds a way to settle the score. They almost take another lead on this beautiful redirection by Iafallo. Just misses wide.
Go to sportsnet.ca/thisisbig and use the game code NIGHT1 to enter Sportsnet's This Is Big contest. One fan could win $1 million. Keep watching the Stanley Cup playoffs for game codes and more chances to win instant prizes. Both teams getting set for a face-off in the Oilers zone. To the right of Mike Smith, it's Lizotte and Draisaitl. Kings win the draw. Jersey, quick shot into traffic. Bounced over to Ryan McLeod. Draisaitl skating to the puck. Overskated it a bit. Gave a chance for the Kings to gain control. And Kaliyev wasn't able to play the puck too far. And Ryan McLeod now starting it off again for the Oilers. A long-range pass over to Hyman. Lizotte getting in front of that one. Over to Jersey. Had to make a quick move. Draisaitl was right there. Chris Russell now holding on to the puck. Pass to Draisaitl. Over the blue line. Draisaitl putting on the brakes. Kaliyev is there. A quick one-timer from Duncan Keith. That missed. And it's Derek Ryan. Over to Bouchard. Down low. Warren Foegele trying to wrap around. Unable to capitalize. Kept it at the line by Keith. But the Kings do get it out, and Grundstrom eases the puck deep into the Oilers zone.
Excellent support right there by Derek Ryan. Allowed Duncan Keith to really be strong on that offensive blue line. Didn't keep it in, but there was no harm after it gets out as Ryan is the forward all the way back to the defensive zone to play that puck back up the ice.
That's why they brought him in. Responsible 200-foot game. Here's Yamamoto stealing a pass in front. It's still loose. And Trevor Moore able to skate out of the zone with it. Sent right back in by Nurse. Final 60 seconds of the second period. The puck bounced over to Moore. And Darnell Nurse now trying to force the puck out. Couldn't do so. A second opportunity. Nurse skating through a couple of Kings players. A shot! And it hit the glove of Jonathan Quick. Look at this stretch pass. Kempe driving to the net. Cody Ceci stopped him from getting a shot on net, but the referee's hand is up. And now we have whistles. Hooking call coming up against Cody Ceci.
And I think there might be a too many men call coming here too to the Los Angeles Kings. That's what Evander Kane was trying to signal to the back ref. Steve Kozari, here's the chance at one end, and then the stretch pass up to Adrian Kempe. He can fly, tries to take it to the forehand. Little can opener by Cody Ceci gets called. He thought he played it well as he wraps around. It wasn't much again, but Kempe goes into that stick, and we'll see what happens here afterwards, as there was a motion back behind the play. Yep. And there is going to be a penalty to LA as well. So they catch a break, they work for their penalty, they draw it, and then too many men on the ice for the Los Angeles Kings will nullify that power play. It'll be 4-on-4. That's a tough break for LA right there. They've been working trying to get that call, as Edmonton has a couple power play goals in this game. And Adrian Kempe continues to excel, a career-high 35 goals this year on the season. And he was off to the races there. Cody Ceci thought he did enough not to take a call, but the call was made, nullified by the too many men.
So coincidentals here. And now off the face-off, the Kings have control. Spence with it from up top. 4-on-4 hockey. Kopitar out there with Kempe and Mata. From the blue line, Spence has moved up. His pass through everyone. Mata. Being pressured by Draisaitl. Kempe came in to help out. His pass to Spence. Tees one up. And he just missed here at the last second of the second period. 2 power play goals for Edmonton in this one, as the game is tied up at 3 apiece. An entertaining game one so far after the first 20 minutes, to say the least. In the second intermission, more from Ron MacLean and the panel on opening night of the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs.
The Los Angeles Kings and the Oilers. Brett Kissel, who was at the Rebels Oil Kings game. Kelly, Jennifer, and Kevin, we were there for Rogers Hometown Hockey 3 weeks ago, was taken in tonight and said it's just absolutely electric. And he's been around the Oilers a lot doing anthems and such, so it's quite a night. What do you think?
Yes. Well, I hesitate because I'm nervous for some reason. Mike Smith hasn't given up a bad goal in this game. Even the goal by Lemieux goes off the skate of Nurse, goes 5-hole. But for some reason, every time LA enters the zone, I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen? Because it just doesn't look as pretty as Jonathan Quick.
And I'll say on Edmonton's side, they've sort of managed different momentum swings in this game, but we haven't seen a lot of panic from them. I mean, they've been able to come back and tie the game, and the second was another example. They get the tying goal to make it 2-2, and then LA scores just over a minute later. But again, they stayed persistent with how they wanted to play. They get the equalizer later in the second, so just responding to those various situations.
I think Brett Kissel forgets the first period. The first period wasn't electric. It was actually a quieter, more boring, dull game, which is LA Kings style. And then I thought the second period opened up a little bit more, high flying, more scoring chances, the way the Edmonton Oilers want to play. So you got one for the Kings, one for the Oilers. What happens in the third? We will see.
Do think Brett's on the vibe of the fans as opposed to the actual game within the glass.
But it was quiet in the first because there wasn't a whole lot going on. I thought like the Kings did a good job of keeping Draisaitl in particular in check, but Draisaitl got going in the second period.
Yes, he did. He got persnickety, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I might as well show you some clips. I'm not just saying this stuff. Draisaitl was quiet, but in the second he started touching the puck more, a lot more chances. You know, the power plays help for sure, and you're going to see him get on the board here. But I think with Draisaitl, obviously he's a great playmaker. He's got a great shot. But when he's playing with that edge, I think he's at his best. And after he scores the goal, we still don't know what happened, but he thinks Jersey sticks too long for him, so he tries to chop it in half. Then he loops around and gives him a little punch in the chest and then goes and scores. And then after that, you know, he's leaning on Byfield. He draws a penalty. Kind of a weak call, but the point is now he's more involved. He's active. He kicks the stick here. He's the big, mean German playing with an edge, highly skilled. Took over that period, in my opinion.
And obviously he's drawn 2 penalties, and Connor's drawn a penalty, so the Oilers power play.
Right, so they had 3 power play chances there in the second period. And you know that this is a team that loves to play offense and make beautiful plays on the power play. And they did just that. If you look at the opportunities they had on various ones, this is Draisaitl, again, just in that slot area there. Beautiful quality chance on the pass from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And then this, they're looking for this all the time. On McDavid, over to Draisaitl, a quality chance. A Quick just gets a bit of that one. This was on the goal, on the beautiful shot pass from Keith. And this one, I mean, another one from McDavid over to Draisaitl, and that stick is not going to prevent Draisaitl from getting a beautiful goal on this opportunity. And for them, I mean, that's huge for their confidence. When you think about swings and momentum in a game, when you're getting all those touches on the power play, getting the puck, that's going to fuel momentum in your favor.
And Jennifer, not just because you showed the beautiful shot pass by Duncan Keith, but I thought early on, you know, he has that presence always in these big games. Take a look at this pass right up the middle, head up, just perfect, right tape to Yamamoto. The Oilers get a great chance here. Now, here's another good play in the first period. Let's slow things down, okay? We need a change, so we get that. And now he's going to head up ice and make a real nice bank pass here right onto the stick again to Kassian. And then, as you just showed, Jennifer, what a beautiful pass. Let this play develop. And then Yamamoto presents that target, and a beautiful shot by Duncan Keith. Well done.
Is this not why they picked up Duncan Keith?
It is.
Right? For the playoffs, obviously, and there was talk about his leadership and being able to play your best hockey in the playoffs and how that would help McDavid and Draisaitl. But his game has been very high, and it's only gotten better over the course of the year. This is why they got him for the playoffs.
And reflected in his comments in the interview as well, right? Like settle in. They want to make sure they're more steady, right? Instead of these ups and downs and always chasing LA.
Here he is with Scott Oake. Scott.
Dunk, you're in a very intense game. Should anybody be surprised that the way it's gone from the opening puck drop with absolutely no feel-up period here?
Yeah, it's too scrambly, I think. I think we got to settle in here. It's been 2 periods now. It's time to settle in and play a little better defensively.
You faced a hot goaltender for much of the first 2 periods. What did you see on your setup to Kailer Yamamoto for the tying goal?
Well, he made a nice play to present himself there. And it's tough for the goaltender to stop something like that, but it was a nice tip by him, and he was open, so just tried to get it on his tape.
Thanks, Dunk. Appreciate your time.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Excellent. Elliot, how about news around the NHL tonight?
Ron, earlier today, Winnipeg GM Kevin Cheveldayoff met with the media. The most newsworthy item is that they will be having an open search for the next head coach. Interim Dave Lowry has been invited to interview if he wishes. A number of the Jets fans concerned after Mark Scheifele went public questioning his future with the team, wondering about the direction and whether or not it was just the right situation for him and the team for him to stay. So they're also wondering about other players. One individual I understand did say he was happy to stay, goaltender Connor Hellebuck, who obviously is very critical to the Jets' future. Also, we're expecting an announcement tomorrow about Mike Yeo, the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, on an interim basis. It is not expected they will retain him, and they will go out and do a search of their own. Ron?
Thank you, Elliot. So Dick Irvin helped us out with honoring Guy Lafleur a weekend ago, and we'll have the funeral, the national funeral, tomorrow morning at 10:30 Eastern on Sportsnet. Dick, when he appeared on that show, was the 8th decade he had been on Hockey Night in Canada. Isn't that unbelievable? And there's only one element of his job that Dick didn't really like. He used to implore the executive producer, the late Ralph Mellanby, take me off that task. I don't want to do that task. You have to, Dick. You're the only guy that can do it without cue cards. You're magic in the mayhem. Here he is with Mike Lawler, Brian Scruderland, and Larry Robinson. Dick and the gig he didn't dig.
I want to say hi to my parents, my family, my friends back in Saskatoon. Mike wants to say hi to everybody back on Fort Erie.
Mom, Dad, everybody, here I am. Yeah! Well, they're here for the first time. Congratulations, guys. This fella's here for the 6th time. Larry, 6. I can remember in '73. In the Chicago Stadium, when you got your first one. I don't think you and I figured you'd be in '86, and either one of us would still be around for number 6. Congratulations, Bert. How's it feel?
Well, great. I think this one holds as much as as the first one.
Honestly, Dick, there's a reason you did those post-game dressing room interviews, and he was drafted in '71, Larry Robinson, 4th pick by Sam Pollock, so that was part of the genius of the whole beautiful Guy Lafleur story. Our national funeral coverage tomorrow on Sportsnet. Stanley Cup. That's Paz, the hockey circus, doing a great job there with the fans in Alberta. Enter now. You'll be a FOMO if you don't. Kings Oilers at Loggerheads.
I have an idea.
Kings and Oilers tied at 3. Celebrate Asian Heritage Month, CBC and CBC Gem. And need something to laugh at after the game? Well, from comedy to reality TV and everything in between, find your Gem streaming for free on CBC Gem. Lineup information during the Stanley Cup playoffs. Maybe try winning Lotto 649 instead. For 2 days, it looked like Darnell Nurse, who'd missed the last 4 games of the season, would play tonight, but neither player nor coach were giving it up yesterday or this morning.
I'm not sure. Not sure. Sorry. Can't answer any more than that. We'll see. Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
Nurse, by the way, leads Oiler defensemen tonight with 13:26 of ice time through 2. Whatever injury he suffered 10 days ago versus Colorado does not appear to be affecting his game tonight. Harner Ryan.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, Darnell Nurse routinely logs more ice time on this team than any other player. And talking to the media earlier this morning, he said the more you play in these big playoff games, the more sense of comfort you have. But the intensity is high here at Rogers Place as the 3rd period's underway. McDavid to the net! And stretching his legs to make the save again, Jonathan Quick.
Shot out of a cannon off the face-off.
My goodness. And now, the Oilers on the attack. It's Draisaitl and McDavid together. McDavid takes it, his shot just wide on the far side. Open target, Kempe. Now Edler. Being pressured by Draisaitl, it's Olli Maatta. Over to Kempe. Through center ice. Fired it towards the net, and Bouchard has it there. Evan Bouchard settling things down. Still 40 seconds to go in the 4-on-4 situation. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins coming in, nice wheels. Maatta poking the puck. Spence to Moore. He can fly as well. Moore. Behind the net, still hanging on to it. Now up top, Spence takes it. Dropped it off. Philip Deneau to Alimana. He shoots! Knocked down by Smith. Left it there for Keith. And Zach Hyman skating away. Into the Kings zone. Written hard into the boards, but Hyman kept going. The Kings do take the puck, though.
Excellent support by Philip Deneau there. Aggressive play to ride out Hyman. He's right there to pick up the puck on the back check.
Kane was waiting for the puck. Stolen. Iafallo shoots. Smith the save. Rebound was right there. But Brett Kulak taking down the Zot. And we have another call.
And I think this is a penalty you had to take. That puck was sitting there up for grabs after the shot from the slot. This is the face-off. Little spin, picks it up in speed. Just an unbelievable maneuver to kind of turn through two defensemen, fend off the stick, just can't finish off as he rings the bar on the side, on the forehand side. Brett Kulak right here. That puck's up for grabs. Not a chance. He just lifts up a little bit harder and Lizotte goes down. That draws the call. Hooking for Brett Kulak as LA back on the power play.
The Kings 0 for 2 on the power play with 6 shots on goal. And it was the Oilers who outshot LA 16-4 in that second period. The Oilers' own power plays that period helped with that. They're on the penalty kill right now in a game tied at 3. Kopitar protecting the puck from the boards. He passes back. Kempe, Jersey was waiting for it. Decided not to shoot. Kempe to Kopitar. He's got some room and he shoots. Flashing the leather is Mike Smith.
Yeah, did he ever? And Kopitar makes a nice play along the wall. Just to control, set things up. Once he gets the puck back, though, he walks in, knows he has a presence, and tries to pick that glove hand side, short side, maybe catch Mike Smith a little bit off guard. No chance on that one. He was ready for it, made the save, and more importantly, held on to it.
Scramble draw. They're digging away at it. Racing to the puck is Nurse. Kempe was there too. Iafallo fired the puck into the corner. The Kings still controlling. Jersey moves up. Over to Kempe. Kempe heading to the slot. A shot blocked by Nurse. And he's feeling it on his left hand. Kopitar shoots. Bouncing puck available. And Mike Smith denying the Kings of another go-ahead goal. Kopitar waiting. Passing down low. Iafallo has passed through the blue paint. Jersey to Kopitar. Again down low. Iafallo tried to go top shelf, but too high into the mesh.
And Darnell Nurse goes right off the ice. He stayed out there, but no question that shot block stung him. He never really put a lot of effort with the left hand on the stick, was one-handing it mostly after that. A lengthy shift out of breath, and it's Kempe with this wicked wrister. He goes down at the right moment, and that's where it catches him in the wrist, just about the cuff. And you can see the grimace on his face instantly, but he stays in the battle and just continues to push away and kill off the penalty.
Spence, his pass, but the Oilers getting their sticks in the way, and it's a souvenir for someone in the crowd as we take a look at Darnell Nurse and the trainer having a conversation.
And that nod says it all, just an indication by Darnell Nurse to the head athletic therapist, TD Forbes, to say, yeah, I'm okay. That one stung, but I don't think there's anything worse. Did break a finger earlier in the season. They put him out for some time, so a guy that's not afraid to dive down and get in the way of shot blocks pays the price on that one.
Jordan Spence moving up. Here's Byfield. Shoots. That one missed the net. Penalty about to expire is Kulak. Brett Kulak rejoining. The Oilers killing that one off. 3 shots on net for the Kings on the power play. Bouchard ahead for Puljujärvi. Puljujärvi along the boards to Kane, right back to Puljujärvi. Bouchard now, leaving it for McDavid. Knocked down by Pugliarvi. Too far for Kane, so the Oilers forced to regroup. And this is an icing call against the Kings.
Download the BetMGM apps today and tap into the nonstop action in casino and sports.
Well, some good defense right here on Quinton Byfield as he tries to get that shot away. Left-handed shot down the right-hand side, and the extension of the stick by Duncan Keith, the KG veteran, at the perfect moment takes it away.
We heard his conversation with Scott Oake in the intermission. Really, this game's going 100 miles an hour, and Keith talking about how he wants to slow it down and play more of a defensive game. Here's Pugliarvi's shot. Oh boy, that was close. Skipped just by. The Oilers were trying to get their sticks on it for a tip. McDavid now from the corner, moving to the front of the net, and he lost the puck, and Kempe took it from there. His pass off an Oilers stick. Pugliarvi. McDavid has a look. Kempe in front of him. He gets the puck to Kane. It took a bounce, and Kane flips the puck forward, heading off to the bench.
You know, sometimes in games like this, the energy is so high for Duncan Keith in his 136th playoff game. He understands a thing or two with 3 Stanley Cups under his belt on weathering a storm, settling in, playing your structured game. But sometimes it's more difficult than just trying to do it because the bounces that happen, the energy, and the chaos that ensues in a playoff game. But if anybody knows about settling down and just buckling down, it's Duncan Keith.
He has an assist tonight. Here come the Kings. Moving in front was Edler. Referee's arm is up as Darnell Nurse had taken down an LA King.
What a game Trevor Moore's had for the LA Kings. A goal and assist. He's been all over using his speed defensively, offensively. And he just takes the ice that's given to him here. Once this puck comes out of the corner, he just starts to navigate towards the net. Protects that puck, goes around one stick, and there's the reach in by Darnell Nurse that takes him down and draws the call. Excellent individual effort by Trevor Moore, who's had a game.
Has he ever? 27 years old, California-born player. Thousand Oaks came over from Toronto in the Kyle Clifford, Jack Campbell trade. Los Angeles once again on the man advantage. Quick shot and a quick save from Mike Smith.
Quick face-off win, quick shot on net, and Mike Smith wisely holds on to that one. This was a low shot by Durzi. So he takes this puck, doesn't really try and do too much. You can see it kind of come up on edge and knuckle. And not an easy save for Mike Smith, as that easily could have gone between the pads, but he closes it off and holds on to it.
The Kings have had 10 shots cumulatively on the power play so far tonight. Smith stopping all of those.
Well, 8 shots in this period already for LA. They had 4 all of the second period, so a much better effort, obviously, with the 1 power play and now this second one. But they've had a shot mentality.
Philip Danault to Kopitar. Kopitar waiting, decides to move up, down low pass, got it back. Kopitar stick handling the puck. Durzi to Kempe. And the Oilers with some good pressure. A short-handed opportunity might develop. Zach Hyman, he's all alone though. Hyman skating with the puck, tried to give it to McLeod. The Kings took over, but now Bouchard flips the puck towards Quick.
Excellent second effort, by Zach Hyman there. Looked like he'd lost the puck, but he stays in the hunt for it and is able to put it into the zone.
And now with 50 seconds left, here's Yamamoto shorthanded. Backhander, it's loose. Nugent Hopkins didn't know where it was. And the LA Kings back on the attack. Pass intercepted, Bouchard. Backhanding the puck forward. Good penalty kill so far. Half a minute to go. Iafallo crossing the blue line to Callion. Couldn't shoot around the boards to Byfield. He reverses, Spence tees one up. And that puck was stopped. And it's out of the zone. Nurse ready to get back on. Callion Kaliyev sending the puck all the way to the direction of Spence Iafallo. He finds Quinton Byfield. He's moving up. A shot, and Mike Smith had to be sharp on that one. Puck tipped ahead by McDavid, but mistakenly to a Kings player. Carl Grundstrom moving up with speed. A shot off the noggin of Mike Smith, who covers up right after that. More extracurricular activities, though, as the players from both teams coming together in a scrum.
That shot was a high one that takes off the stick of Grundstrom and really handcuffs Mike Smith, catches him in the helmet, drops down in front of him, and he corrals it up in a hurry, and everybody comes into the support. Almost a goal-ahead goal by Kailer Yamamoto, shorthanded. He takes this pass off of the races. Excellent job. Philip Deneau all the way back as he spins back to Nugent Hopkins, jamming away. And Jonathan Quick had to sprawl out on this one. And there's a little bit of a collision with his own guy that lands on top. He's a little tiny gingerly getting up afterwards that we're going to keep an eye on. He's been stretching down at the other end. Right now, just making sure that he's keeping limber. Relies so heavily on how strong his legs are, the flexibility, and he might have got shaken up a little bit on that one. He's a little slow to get up after. No conversation at the bench in that timeout with the trainer, so he's going to stick it out and stay between the pipes.
And at the other end, it seems Trevor Moore exchanging pleasantries with Yamamoto. Right before the drop of the puck, Duncan Keith able to clear the puck out of the zone. Speed skating to the puck is Zach Hyman, who got there first. Here's a pass and a shot, and it went behind the net. Draisaitl, his pass all the way over to Trevor Moore, and Moore is able to get the puck out all the way down the ice. Smith playing the puck from behind the net, high off the glass, kept in by the Kings. Moore twisting in his centering pass. Came all the way back over to him at the boards, and now Duncan Keith has time and space to skate up ice. Keith from the red line feathers the puck down low, quick to Mata. He had to make a quick play. Fogle was there. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins looking to steal. More physicality there, this time between Edler and Fogle. Adrian Kempe finds Edler. Lifts the puck into an open corner. Darnell Nurse got there. Blake Lizotte, he's lurking. Cody Ceci. Pass into the neutral zone. And now Athanasiou. He lifts the puck right on net. Smith played it. Ceci got it out. Alex Edler for the Kings. As we approach the midway mark of this third period, Grundstrom dropped it off. Dustin Brown, a shot. And Mike Smith coming up with the answer again. He's not going to take any chances.
Download the app and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook.
You know, Singer, you say Mike Smith's not taking any chances, and rightfully so, as the Los Angeles Kings, the one thing they've done all game long, right from the get-go, is get right into the grill of Mike Smith on every shot, looking for anything left over.
Point shot from Jersey was blocked by Kane. Iafallo trying to bring the puck in. Looked like it could have been offside. Play continues. Here's the point shot, bouncing puck. Bounced right near the net. Moore to Iafallo. Deneau parked in front. Jersey looking, surveying the situation still as Jersey shot blocked again by Kane. And now Phil Deneau reaching for that puck. Stepping up was Anderson. The others are going to have a chance to skate away with the puck as the Kings are making a full-scale change, but as are the Oilers. Barrie and Kulak waiting for their troops to get set. Here comes Leon Draisaitl. Pass to Yamamoto, who falls still able to push the puck further. Spence falls as well. Olimata off the glass and out. Nurse has to be careful as Kempe skating quickly. Athanasiou dropped it off. Alex Edler has moved up. Edler now near the net. Spins. The puck off the side of the net. Picked up by Kempe. To the point. Edler shoots. Easy block for Ceci. He finds Zach Hyman. Gets the puck down low. On the forecheck himself. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins trying to get in front of Matt Roy. Kopitar able to skate it in. Now the Kings. Callion. A pass behind the net. Iafallo. Byfield shot stopped. Byfield looking for more. Quinton Byfield. Oh boy. Huge hit in the Oilers zone. McLeod back the other way. Zach Kassian shoots. And a save from Jonathan Quick, who hangs on. A thunderous check here in the third period. Quinton Byfield had the puck, and here comes the Kassian train.
And elevation. The point's been made frequently in the last couple of months that Connor McDavid's game is more complete this season. Threw a penalty tonight, which never happened in 4 playoff games last season. As expected, he's been an offensive threat with 2 points, 1-1, a vintage McDavid goal as he went through 4 Kings, but he's also got a season-high 4 hits and over 20 minutes of ice time. Todd McClellan, who coached McDavid for a few years here, said this morning that he thinks McDavid's a different player since Christmas. So the best player in the world playing an even more complete game. Hunter Ryan.
Thank you, Scott. McDavid, who had a 5-game point streak to finish the season, 6 points against the Kings in 4 games. Here's Duncan Keith with a blast from the point. Bounced wide. Hyman let the puck go by. Evan Bouchard moving up. Ryan McLeod to the net. Tipped just wide by Draisaitl. Draisaitl to Hyman. Both of them working behind the net. Hyman trying to work the puck to the point. He brought it there himself. Now he wristed it to the net. Evan Bouchard got it by Matt Roy. Alex Edler found Iafallo, and he's able to get the puck out for the Kings. Under 8 minutes to go here in the third. Here comes Connor McDavid. Bursting through, one-timer! Jonathan Quick the answer as he denies Yamamoto. He was looking for his second of the night. Kopitar skating through. The Oilers trying to get the puck out of their own end. Evander Kane, high off the glass and out. Michael Anderson playing the puck forward. Anze Kopitar has a look. Feeds his defenseman, Sean Durzi. Rink wide to Athanasiou. He's trying to wind it up. Kempe gives it right back to him. Athanasiou, wraparound attempt. Backhander was off target. Nurse flipping the puck to center ice. Kane tipped it ahead. Only 5 points separated these 2 teams in the Pacific Division. Close game here in game 1. We're in a deadlock at 3 apiece. Oilers firing the puck in, and Durzi playing it to Dustin Brown, who finds Blake Lizotte. Looked like he was going to be able to go to the net. And now back the other way, Warren Foegele. But the puck brought in offside by the Oilers.
Both teams playing such good defensive play, and in this third period it was 13-3 in favor of shots for the Los Angeles Kings until this blast right here made it 4 for Edmonton, and that's the best chance they've had right there. McDavid with the drive, Yamamoto tickling the rafters all the way down the ice and gets that one away. Excellent save by Jonathan Quick. The blast from the slot.
Face off in the neutral zone. They're going to have to get a do-over there. Derek Ryan and Lizotte. 6:29 to go on the clock. Shots now tied at 33 as well. From the neutral zone, The Kings unable to control the puck. It's off of Nugent-Hopkins' stick as he raced towards it. Foegele now couldn't get a pass off. Foegele cycling the puck to Nugent-Hopkins. Foegele's pass off a King's stick, and it bounced out of play. For the day's top stories and in-depth coverage of the issues that matter to you, tune into Canada's best national newscast, The National, on CBC and CBC Gem.
Well, the grind continues. And as you mentioned, a real tight, even, hard-fought battle here. 33 shots apiece, 3-3. Just over 6 minutes left in the third period. Kind of how you would expect it between these two teams that were very close in the regular season.
Zach Hyman is on the prowl. Puck taken away by Edler. He gives it to Matt Roy, who worked it to Trevor Moore. Moore finds Danault in the middle, but we have whistles at the blue line. Live from Rogers Place in Edmonton, you're watching opening night of the 2022 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Tied at 3 here in the third period of game one. We've seen a bit of everything in this game, Louis. Goals, saves, calls. It's going 100 miles an hour.
And a lot of hits. I mean, I think they're up to 73 combined now, 74. So it's had a little bit of everything. And we expect that with two teams that were very close in the standings coming into these playoffs, jostling for second and third in the Pacific Division down the stretch. But it's kind of lived up to the billing as far as I'm concerned. Deadlocked at 3 here in the third period. What more can you ask for?
Yes, there's no better time than the Stanley Cup playoffs. We are waiting to see who's going to be the hero in this one. Leon Draisaitl out there with Puljujarvi, and Zach Hyman is making his way towards the net, stripped of the puck, and it's Iafallo. Dumps it in, puck stopped behind the net by Smith. Dangerous pass, shot, and Mike Smith saves his own bacon. My goodness, another shot, but it's a goal. The LA Kings have yet another lead. It's 4-3.
Well, what a chain of events on this one. Mike Smith turns it over, looking for Leon Draisaitl up the ice. He was laid out of the zone. He had a stick in the air. He wanted the stretch pass, and it gets picked off. And what a save. This is it right here. It goes off the spinorama, and he lunges to make that save. An excellent one. This line has been outstanding for the Los Angeles Kings. It was Iafallo, picks it off, takes the first shot. Durzi takes another one. Traffic in front. It's Phillip Danault with the celebration standing right over top of Mike Smith. Look at that dive to keep it out of the net, but then LA continues the attack, and right there, I believe it goes off of Danault in tight and finds its way into the net for a 4-3 lead.
That's the high risk, high reward game that Mike Smith plays. One of the best in the game at handling the puck.
You know, LA's done a great job in this game at keeping it away from him. They haven't given him a lot of opportunities to play it. He tried on that one, and it backfires with a huge goal for the Los Angeles Kings. He made up for it with a huge save, but on the momentum on the ensuing shot, it's Danault in front that creates that ruckus. No chance for Smith on that one in tight, and LA takes the lead yet again.
So the Oilers with work to do, and it's Connor McDavid coming in with blazing speed. It's on the brakes. His pass back, though. Nobody in that spot, so the Oilers have to come out of the zone, and McDavid's going to head off to the bench. Darnell Nurse waiting patiently, and now he decides to accelerate. Rifles it into the zone, but it was a bit high off the glass, so another whistle.
We're going to take another look at this goal, and we do still believe it's Phillip Danault. There's the pick-off by Iafallo, and I mean, he spun and shot that in a hurry. Danault with a second chomp at it after that excellent save by Smith, and then the shot by Durzi. He just gets it down into the traffic zone. And Danault right there, you can see him move, goes off of him. It goes off the body stick into the net. No chance for Mike Smith as it goes wide of the net, but finds itself back into the net. And Danault celebrates afterwards. He's had a real strong game. That second line's been excellent for LA. Their best line, no question, all night long.
And Louis, they're giving the goal to Durzi right now Phil Deneau's line +3, regardless of who gets credited for that goal.
Well, it's Deneau. We showed it go off the body, so we know that. They'll change it later.
Here's a shot, and Kane fired that one wide. Lizotte moving through the middle. Now on the right side, Kulak. Stopping Lizotte along the board. Lizotte has it again. His pass intercepted. McLeod over to Kassian. Barry in deep. Kassian, his pass blocked, but Kassian's still on it. Now it's taken away. The Kings flipping the puck out of the zone. 3.5 to go here in the third period. The Oilers down by 1. Ryan McLeod skating through the neutral zone. He flipped it in. Olli Maatta stopping the puck. B-to-D pass. Stolen by Zach Hyman. Sends it deep. McDavid back on the ice. Connor McDavid leaving it for Bouchard. A wrist shot. Hyman was in front at the doorstep. Draisaitl trying to knock the puck down. Bouchard gets it again. Looking to shoot. He does! And it bounced wide. A shot from Keith. Knocked down by Hyman. Keith gets it back from McDavid. Keith to McDavid. McDavid circling. There's the acceleration. A pass. Hyman was there, but Phillip Danault got in the way. And we have a whistle on the play.
The LA Kings bend, but don't break on this shift. An excellent shift by McDavid out there with Zach Hyman doing some work down low, and Evander Kane, a big, powerful line. Look at this pick. McDavid runs into 2 LA Kings to allow Bouchard to get that shot through with Hyman in front, and then they continue to cycle. But through all of that, not a shot on net for Edmonton. LA has been excellent at keeping things to the outside and battling and blocking and just preventing Edmonton from getting that high-quality chance they're looking for.
Olli Maatta was caught out there on a 2-minute, 3-second shift. So the Kings did escape unscathed, as you mentioned, Louis. Athanasiou dug the puck out and he tried to skate away with it. What an effort by Yamamoto to get it back for the Oilers. Tyson Barrie to the corner. It's Evander Kane shooting into traffic. Kempe trying to get the puck out, kept in momentarily by Nurse. 2 minutes to go now. Tyson Barrie bringing it in. Pass to the middle, McDavid moving. And Trevor Moore picked his pocket, got the puck out. Barrie firing the puck back into the Kings zone. Roy to Edler. Now in the corner. Working away is Kane. To McDavid. To Nurse. Jonathan Quick again up to the task.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse looking to the sky after that one. He knows that was an excellent chance. The hard work in the corner, prevent the turnover, get that puck. It's McDavid that finds him right in the slot. And Jonathan Quick was aggressive to be out and take that away. Here's the pass by McDavid, tries to come in. It's Trevor Moore using his speed again to be there at the right time, at the right spot to break up that play. And then here's the last one. Beautiful pass, McDavid, and Nurse tries to pick far side, and Jonathan Quick swallows it up. Edmonton has taken a timeout with Mike Smith on the bench. Looks like he's going to stay there with 1 minute and 34 seconds on the clock as Glenn Gulutzan going over a final play here to try and tie this game.
Simu Liu hosts the Juno Awards with musical performances by Arcade Fire, Charlotte Cardin, Deborah Cox, and many more live Sunday, May 15th on CBC and CBC Gem. Here we go. Oilers fans on their feet. Trying to fire up the players here. 1 minute 34 to go in the third period. Edmonton down a goal. Desperately looking to tie this one up again. That's been the case many times this game. Here's McDavid keeping it in at the blue line. Evander Kane gloved the puck down. He still has it. His pass blocked. Matt Roy from the corner looking to get it out, and he does. 6 on 5 here, the Oilers Draisaitl dumped it in. McDavid with a chance to move. Draisaitl near the net. It's loose. Trying to flip it in was McDavid, but Jonathan Quick was hugging the post, and he made the save.
And boy, Jonathan Quick had to hold on to that one. Everybody was digging away. What a night for Jonathan Quick, 36 years of age. Won the last five games of the regular season he played in, and he's been outstanding in this one. Edmonton has tested him. They've had a presence in front of him, and he's just been dialed in. Look at that, the extension on that Kane chance. There's another one by Draisaitl. He takes away with a lunge. That's an excellent save in tight. Just to read the play, respond, react the way he has. And anytime he's had to find that puck in a scrum like this, which he just did, he's able to swallow it up and make the save.
Draisaitl in to take the draw against Philip Deneau. 1:01 on the clock. Draisaitl 55% on the face-off circle tonight. We've entered the final 60 seconds of the third period. IFL unable to get the puck out. Bouchard, his shot was blocked. Puck stolen by Hyman. Hyman falls, able to play the puck to McDavid. Kane was there waiting for it. The puck high off the glass. Play call.
And that's staying in the battle right there. There was a couple opportunities for the Kings to put this puck out of the zone. And second efforts, it's Evan Bouchard on the first one. And then a battle down low to win the puck once again. First poke check there, McDavid again. They all swarm into the zone. Draisaitl, McDavid, Kane's down low as well. And then creates that puck up over top of the glass for a face-off to the right of Jonathan Quick.
Kopitar and Draisaitl. Now falling on the puck is Hyman. They're battling for it. The Oilers looking for it. It's found by Kane. To the point, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gives it back. Kane shoots, quick the save, and he covers up quickly.
Oh, excellent effort. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins walking that line as a forward. Little spinorama pass to Evander Kane. And nobody in front of Jonathan Quick. Great box out right there, Alexander Edler. He stops Zach Hyman from getting to the front of that net and allows his goaltender to see this shot. Hyman was going to drive out, but Edler just puts up the wall and says, not a chance, I'm letting my goaltender see it. What a job down low.
Draisaitl and Kopitar again in the face-off circle. 26 seconds left here. One goal game. Draisaitl falling after the drop of the puck. Nugent-Hopkins ahead for McDavid off his skate. Batting the puck was Draisaitl to the net. Bouchard moving up. Nugent-Hopkins in his place. Back to Evan Bouchard. Down low. Kane's pass blocked by Quick himself. Evan Bouchard, 5 seconds, firing into traffic. The puck bounces away. Kempe has it, and there you have it. The Los Angeles Kings stealing game one of this series. Final score 4-3.
Well, I'll tell you, this game had a little bit of everything, Singer, and the Los Angeles Kings never trailed in this game. They came out ready to play. They got the first one, and every other time they got that next one to go ahead. 4-3 the final score after closing out the last minute and a half in the defensive zone, and Jonathan Quick up to the task. Tonight closes the door and they pull out game number one.
For Scott Oak, Louis DeBrusque, and our entire production crew here, this is Harnarayan Singh saying thank you for joining us tonight. Stay tuned. On the other side, more from Ron MacLean and the panel.